Hey guys, so I flipped it back earlier than I would have liked to. Came back to the yard down here. I did want to stay longer at my hideout and maybe at least finish that dock. But it was like there was something tapping me on the shoulder saying, hey man, you need to get this show on the road. So I packed up my saddlebags. This is my saddlebag sit up. Came off the black. Now you see how it goes together. There's the two-wheel cart you saw on the back of the bike with this extension handle that acts like kind of like a sissy bar. It all works so nice. But anyway, I packed my saddlebags and then I look here on the back of the cart. You'll see how I just kind of, it's not really braiding, but I kind of connect the carry straps around the handle so that it all stays on. And it works real nice. And a bedroll strapped to the top, just in case I need to lay flat somewhere. But I've been doing this system for quite a while. And it's worked out real well. So that's how that works. The dragon was happy to see me. And the black was a bit upset that I was leaving earlier than planned. Kind of like torn between two lovers. Wasn't there an old song like that? I don't know. Some bull crap like that. But anyway, let's take a quick recap. Starting to get things underway with Thunder Truck 1 and Thunder Truck 3. A couple of things I did before I went up north to the hideout. So I finished painting this box. The load box, it really needs another coat. But now, to me, it looks maybe too blank. Like a blank canvas. Like it needs something, stripes or something on there, to try and give it some, I don't know, style. And then also, between showers before I left, I smashed some paint on this, on the side of the flatbeds here. I didn't fool around with it. I just did wire brush, cleaned it down, and then I literally smashed two coats on each side. But if you check, if you reference against the other video, especially this trailer, you'll see how rusty the sides were. And now they look good. They'll look decent going down the road when I head east. And I'll give you a quick look down the middle of these two. This is that they say aluminium down here. This is that aluminum paint that I used on top of the container. It's really good stuff. I mean, there was a lot of rain while I was gone. And yeah, it really is very good paint. And it looks good too. Even though they're not aluminum trailers. I prefer steel anyway, but even though they're not aluminum trailers, I like the look. I got to rotate some wheels shortly on this truck. Now the flight down here is, geez, the flight down here is so hard, guys. I mean, you think about it, the flights from LA, you got to get to LA, and then the flights from LA always leave close to midnight. So basically, you get up and you start your day like at your regular time, your regular schedule, which is in the morning. And then you go all day long. In my case, I had to get to the airport, which was quite a ways off. And so spent the day doing that. Then you get to the airport about 3 or 4, and then you wait to get on your flight around midnight. The flight takes off. So you're getting pretty tired at this point, and then it's a 14-hour flight to the east side of Australia. It's kind of like, I think they just call it the east side. I guess it's the east coast of Australia. But they also have a north coast and a south coast, don't they? So anyway, 14-hour flight, total grind to get down to the east side. And then if you're on a budget, then there's another flight to take after that to get to the west side out here. And so you do your 14-hour flight and you're on a budget, so you try to hammer it straight through. And you have about a 5 or 6 hour layover. So by the time you get on the second flight, which is another 5 hours, you're so damn ragged that the 5-hour flight seems like another 10-hour flight because you're just so tired. You know, you've been sleeping in seats for 24 hours, and then you get over here and get to where you're going, and then you just fall on your face for a couple of days. Anyway, that's enough of that. So, yeah, I really did want to get that dock finished, but oh well, that's the way it goes sometimes. So getting started on both trucks, which will be interesting. Now, what's been done on, hey girls, say hi real quick. See, look at that. Complete silence. Every time I got the phone in their face. I don't know. Maybe they can see something we can't see. Okay, so what's been done so far to Thunder Truck 3? Charge the battery. There's 2 batteries. Charged one. The other one's new. And then I'll take my hat off here real quick. And get under here for you. And you see the carburetor You see the carburetor right there, and you see the housing where the float goes. You see that little screw on the bottom there? That's the idle screw. So what I did was there's one on each side just like that. The other side's harder to get to, but I didn't film it because it's such a touchy thing and kind of awkward, and I knew if I dropped one of them down in the dirt, I wouldn't find it. So I did it without filming. And I just sprayed cleaner in there until cleaner came up through the deal at the top of the carburetor. So I pulled that intake housing back, and then you can see inside it. And then of course I sprayed inside the carburetor. And so there's that. We did that. And then around to the front here, there was a hose. It was basically looked like a heater hose. Anyway, it was falling off and leaking water everywhere, so that had to be repaired. Or let me see if I can get under here and show you where that's at. Lay on my side here, I won't get too dirty. You can kind of see it. Hang on a second. So you see up there, there's kind of like that piece of pipe with a hose clamp on each end. Well, that was so busted up. Yeah, you can see it right up. Right there above my finger. Right there. That was busted up pretty bad. I mean, the whole damn hose was so blocked. I don't know how any fluid was getting through there. So that's all that's been done on this one so far. Oh, and change the engine oil. So she's got fresh oil in her. And then I could have swore there was something else. Fresh oil. Sprayed the carburetor out. Fixed the hose. Charged the battery. But then I kicked it, and it did start, but it ran pretty rough. Let's take a look inside real quick. You haven't seen inside this one yet. So she was running pretty rough and used a lot of fuel. I mean fast. Faster than it's supposed to. Let me get in here and I'll just give you a quick look around. So it's an automatic. This is the park and brake. Choke and PTO. So I'm figuring that hose run up behind the dashboard and something to do with the heater. Basic gauges, very basic. fuel, water, RPM, speed, and air pressure. So this truck is air over hydraulic brake system. And I just keep the seats covered because the sun comes up in this direction and the seats take a lot of heat in the mornings. And here's that little shelf I told you about where see if I can block that sun a bit. Back up a little bit, maybe raise up. This is that shelf where my boy bunked when we drove this truck across Australia. It was pretty cool. I think I made a mistake on his age, though. I think he was 5. I don't think he was 3, like I said in the original video. So he bunked up there, and I laid across the seats right here, which was pretty comfortable. And that's how we come across. Excellent drive. Check out my pants here. I need to start wearing I need to start wearing leather pants so I can sew them like I did my coat. Can't sew these things once they're worn thin. It's the material just won't hold together anymore unless you're going to put big patches in them. But a new pair of pants ain't worth as much as a nice leather coat. Let me put this cover back real quick. Come here. Get that seat covered. Okay. These big pins right here. That's the cab release. So no cab jack on this either, but it's a lot easier than Thunder Truck 1. And then this is the PTO shifter that hooks in that fitting over there. Tightens on. So getting started. It's getting interesting, guys. Let me come back around here, squeeze between the truck and the fence. Get my hat back. So that's all on that for now. Probably should change the air filter too, which is right there. And you can see where the air intake goes into the top of the carburetor there if you look closely or you zoom it in. Now I was looking at this bar that I used to tow the truck with a couple of times. And I was looking at that and I was thinking I could turn that into a tow truck as well. If I tilted the fifth wheel the other direction and made up some kind of tripod to fit in here to hold up underneath the bar, yeah, I bet I could rig up something pretty good and make it a pretty versatile thing that'll get me out of trouble now and then. Okay, so let's go back over here. Look at Thunder Truck 1. So this tank here, this tank isn't being used anymore, so it's basically a dummy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this broken strap because it's just rusted through and just screwing the tank up. So I'll take that one off, and I'll take the center one off and put it here. And that's just how I'll run it because it's empty and it's no longer going to be used. Okay, so let's go around to the front of the truck. So this is how I tilt the grill. Just a couple of bungee cords, one up around the sun visor brace, and then just, well, you can see what I've done here. It's pretty self-explanatory. I checked the coolant. Well, I don't run coolant in anymore. I just run water. And it took 13, 14 liters of water. But it hasn't been started in about 6 months. So and down here, if you can see that, hang on a second, get my damn finger out of the way. Down there, the dipstick. Oh, I had a good shot. That's the dipstick. And then that big knob there is the fill, oil fill. So I'll check the oil real quick because I think we're going to give it a kick and see how it goes. So let me put you over here for a minute. It's all kind of precarious. Come around the back there, maybe I can have an easier time of it. I just put the camera there. That ain't gonna work. Bear with me, guys. See if I can get the balance right. Making it harder on myself. It's not working. Oh yeah, I don't bump the ladder. That's pretty good. So I'll just go around, I'll pull the dipstick, and we'll check the oil together. Wow. So check it out. It's right there at the full mark. But it wasn't up that high when I left, or the last time I started it. Hope there's not anything else in there. No, I don't smell anything. That's kind of strange. Well, we'll double dip it. Like you should do. Anyway, okay. Yeah, same spot. As you can see, it's way up there. I don't smell nothing in there. I ain't gonna taste it like some guys do. No way in hell. I just don't remember topping it up that high. I usually leave it down like, I'll usually leave it down like about, maybe about there is where I like to leave it. But I'm gonna change the oil shortly. So we'll give it a quick start today. And then we'll go from there. All right, so very good. That's oil.